What is up? What is up? What is up, everybody? Welcome to this week's show. We got some special guest action going on this week. Got the golf homie, JP, hanging out with us. We got a lot to talk about, too. All kinds of shit going on. This is the Chasing Daylight podcast.
Still waiting for you to top that one intro. You're getting there though.
I got notes when to come in and come out. So I'm trying to make it sound professional, you know.
Oh man,
You see what we're dealing with here, JP?
Yeah, you guys are tryhards for sure. No, I'm just playing. That was pretty professional right there. I feel it.
This is episode 183. Eventually, we're gonna hit the mark and be like, "Damn, these guys actually know what they're doing."
Totally.
So, Mr. Golf Homie, JP, how you doing today, man?
Doing well, brother. Thanks so much for inviting me out.
No problem, man. Joe has been a geeky fan of the Pacific Northwest for a long time, and he got to experience Bandon earlier this year and has fallen in love with the place.
Dude, chills already right now.
I just got some goosebumps myself, so I feel it.
It just instantly. See, Jeremy,
Instant.
this is what you're missing.
I know.
Goosies. So, hey, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what you're doing up there in the Portland area, and what's going on with your golf life.
Well, I am JP Sovereign, native of the Pacific Northwest. I was born and raised in the Portland area. Still reside here. I just got into the game actually just a few years ago. So like end of 2020, like a lot of people, found golf and very quickly became a sicko. And so now I just eat, sleep, and drink the game when I'm not at work or at home with my wife and my little cat. And yeah, man, like I started a social media account because like all of my friends and family were tired of like seeing my golf shares on my main gram. And so I just actually my first account was called Suck My Par. Not a lot of people know that.
Okay.
That was the first name, and then we transitioned to something a little bit more.
It's like some Nardwar stuff there. Like Nardwar would ask you that.
It was kind of
my par.
Just trying to be controversial. That's my nature. So no, but yeah, once I got into the game and started kind of posting regularly, I met a lot of people through social media, in the golf scene around here, and then abroad, obviously, like all over the map. It feels like, which is how I got connected to y'all.
Yeah.
And I fell in love. I mean, specifically, I think the biggest impact that golf has had on me is my first trip to Bandon Dunes. Like we're probably going to talk a lot about on this episode. When I went to Bandon for the first time, it kind of just changed my life and my perspective of like what golf is and what it means for me personally. And I've had a lot of opportunities to grow, both as a man and like as a golfer, in just the couple of years that I've been playing, which has been a gift. The game can bring you some highs and some lows, as we all know.
Totally.
Very quickly too.
Oh gosh, before you even know it, you're feeling like throwing a club. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about me. Now I golf as much as I can up here. Blessed to be able to play year round, even though it does start raining and doesn't stop for about 7 months out of the year. But I'm sick for it, man. Anytime I can be out on the links with good people and experience the game, that's what I want to do.
Was that beep?
Sorry, I think that might be my neighbors here.
Someone's pizza's ready.
Yep.
Yeah, somebody's pizza's ready or somebody's breaking into a car. It is like Portland area after all.
Okay, I got a question for you. Since you're new to the game, how has golf presented itself to you? Because I know you're kind of a standout individual. You kind of do your own thing, not really a rules follower, as old school golf would say. And right. I'm totally cool with that. I'm not a old prude, I guess you could say. But how has golf treated you and how you present yourself to it?
That's a really great question. It's kind of funny, actually. When I started when I first started playing, I remember looking in my closet and then like shouting out to my wife, like, "Babe, I don't have any golf shirts," because I didn't like at the time I did not own a single polo. I've always kind of been like a vintage threads kind of streetwear type of person, and so um, I honestly felt pretty uncomfortable. I think my first like 6 months, 6 to 8 months around the game, because I think I was trying to fit in with what I saw around me, and so it took me some time to kind of realize and learn that golf can be whatever you want it to
Totally.
be for you, and like the way that you see and share your life with other people is the way that you can like see and share golf with other people. And so like I think I definitely was like rubbed by the old head mentality that like you got to be tucked and make sure your polo's on. If you don't wear golf attire, then you're not gonna be able to play. But I think just through different accounts on social media, especially Instagram, and also just talking to people who have been in and around the game for a long period of time, I kind of learned that there's like a lot of avenues around the game, and I think I've just wanted to be a proponent of creating more opportunity
Individuality.
for people to just be themselves around golf and like not be a gatekeeper in any way, shape, or form, but be more of like a greeter, like yo, like what's up, who are
Yeah.
you, like welcome to the game, right? So yeah, that
It's
answers your
so cool
question.
nowadays. Like you know, there's a stigma for sure, right? And there's so many like brands and people out there that have completely changed it in the past few years.
Mhm.
Like golf is streetwear, golf is Manhattans, golf is old fashions, it's cigars, it's hip hop, there's so many avenues to take it in, and that's what's so dope about the game.
Yeah.
Have you had
100% agree.
have you had any run-ins with some old school mentality players?
Definitely. There was a reel of mine that it kind of like it got a few spins on Instagram, and I was at Pacific Dunes. I was playing Pacific Dunes. I think it was I don't know 14, one of the coastal holes. I can't remember exactly which hole it was. Um, and but it's on the back nine, and I was in a t-shirt and wearing some. They're actually Nike Golf, like they're like sweatpant capris, like sweatpant material, but they're capris, and they're like Nike Golf made them. I don't know if they ever released them because I got them kind of under the radar, but I was wearing some capris that look like sweatpants and a t-shirt at Pacific Dunes because it was like 65 degrees, no wind in
Ooh.
January. And so I was just taking advantage of that. And somebody commented like, you look like a hobo. Quit disrespecting the game. And we kind of had words, and a bunch of people that I knew on the gram just kind of went after this guy, and he was like sending me like pictures of his private jet and like his stacks of cash, and just saying like you don't belong in the game. So
Wow.
like
Man.
that was like my first real experience of like, dang, like people really actually feel like he's like, you're standing on hallowed grounds, like respect the game. Um, and I just was like, I was kind of taken back to the roots of golf, like, yeah, because all those shepherds were wearing polos and
Right.
like tucked into like when they were creating this sport that we all play.
Yeah.
It's just like I feel like golf with a lot of things, like it started in one place where it's like just this thing that we do to pass the time. And then it turned into like, the West had to like go and like dip it
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
corporate America and then
Oh,
like
dude, the
make it,
West killed it, man.
yeah. So that was like my first experience. And then, every once in a while showing up to a golf course, like depending on where it is, I try to like brush past the dress code, like at least respect it if I'm going to like a private course or something. I'm definitely going to pay my respects to like whatever their expectations are, but I like to challenge the status quo as well.
Oh, for sure. I rocked, and when we played Solstice, I wore a t-shirt. I think I took my hoodie off after like 4 holes, and I rocked a Goat Hill t-shirt the rest of the
Yes.
day.
Shout out to Go Hill.
That's the spot.
Yeah, I wore I had a t-shirt underneath and a pullover on top of it because the breeze was kind of making it cold and then warm, then cold and warm. I mean, it did feel weird being out there in a t-shirt. I'm not gonna lie, but it didn't bother me, and I wasn't like clowning Joe going respect the game. No, it's gonna take a long time for the golf mentality to change, and I think it's going in a good direction right now.
I mean, just like the hoodie debacle, what, 3 years ago? Like, people were tripping out about a hoodie on it. Like, get out of here, man.
And now everybody wears them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody wears them.
It's funny. There was actually there's a club out here, country club out here, that sent out a memo to all of their members. Like, I think this was end of last year, saying that they do not allow hoodies on the golf course of any kind.
Ridiculous, man.
So, like, if you show up in a hoodie, like, they'll literally kick you out.
That's crazy, man.
You get down in the South too. There's some. Well, you guys, Joe, you'll find out when we go to Atlanta. There's some.
Can't wait, man.
Places down there that they are still stuck in 1860.
Well, we know that.
So what's your go-to home track, I guess you would say?
So there's a track like probably 10 minutes up the road from me here in Oregon City, which is where I live. We're about 20 minutes south of Portland. And it's arguably like probably, I would say 9 out of 10 like regular golfers in the area would tell you that it's like top 2, top 3 tracks out here as far as munis go. It's county owned. The property is county owned. And then actually one of my best friends from high school, her dad, his management company runs it and manages the course. So that's my go-to track. It's called Stone Creek Golf Club. Y'all can look it up.
Yeah, I've seen a post about that.
Yeah. It's a Jacobson design. So Peter Jacobson, he's done a lot of the tracks out here. I'm not sure if you're familiar with who that is, but he's a Pacific Northwest native, and he designed Stone Creek. It's definitely like a tale of 2 nines type of course. Like the front 9 is like, it's pretty. It's all beautiful, but like front 9 is gettable. Back 9 we call the gauntlet. So it definitely kicks your teeth in a little bit on the back 9, but it's a beautiful track, and I'm like so lucky. It's like also one of the best draining courses around here too. And
sweet.
When you get a lot of rain like we do, whatever turf is not squishing underneath your feet is like where you want to be. So
yeah, you need that. We get monsoons out here like crazy, and these courses just like don't soak nothing in and
turn into lakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the ground sucks up the water for about 20 seconds, and then it's all on top.
Clogged. The one question we have asked previously on the podcast is like, we're noticing like a huge onslaught of like players, and it's hard to get tee times and price increases. Are you seeing that up there too?
Yes and no. It just kind of, I think this summer we kind of started kind of finally seeing a regression. So like a lot of people who picked up the game maybe during COVID,
right,
were throwing their sticks on like OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace because golf's hard, right? Because it is like it's not an easy game. Like it's not just like picking up a basketball and shooting hoops. It takes dedication, and so I think a lot of people kind of were like, yeah, I had my run, like going to the driving range while it was cool, and getting out and playing.
I wish
but
that would happen here.
Yeah, I mean, when you can play golf like kind of year round and have it be like pretty reasonably like conditioned like it is over there, I feel like it might be a little different. But out here, like 6 months out of the year, half the guys that I know don't even play.
Yeah, fair weather golfers out there.
Exactly. Yep, a lot of that. So, but I've definitely seen, and there's definitely been price increases. So just because it's regressed as far as how many people are actually getting out and playing, there's still been a steady increase in tee time and what greens fees are costing, and the opportunity to get a tee time, especially on like the good parts of the day. Weekends are like insane. But I'm more of like a twilight golfer anyways. Like I like to play either early morning or afternoon, like when the sun's either rising or going down, just because I feel like it's more beautiful anyways.
Totally.
Golden.
So, but yeah, it's gotten crazy. There's a couple tracks. There's actually one I played on Sunday, which it's a muni. But, and this might sound like cheap to you guys because you're down in Vegas, but it was $100 for like a 1 p.m. tee time on a Sunday.
That's pretty wild, dude.
That's pretty steep.
Like $100 for a muni, like it's one of the top munis in the area, like probably top 3, like up there with Stone Creek. But I was just like, it hurt, It's like
That's wild,
it's
man.
$50 or $50-$60 maybe peak hours at Stone Creek. So, and those tracks aren't very far from each other in terms of conditions. Like they're really close. So it's definitely, and you've seen and there's a couple other tracks too that are like that, like Pumpkin Ridge. The public side of Pumpkin Ridge is like stupid expensive. It's over $100 a round.
Yeah.
Unless you're playing like a Twilight or something like that, and it's like $75. So,
jeez, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So, did you go out to the LIV event?
I did. Yeah,
Oh,
I was
really?
there the first 2 days. Mm-hmm.
All right, you're the first person that we've had on the show that has actually been to an event.
Okay.
So let's hear it. Totally, however you want to say it, whatever you want to say, just let us know what you thought of it.
Well, I think that's like, I might be coming from a different perspective than most people because I am kind of newer to the game, and so I don't have like this affinity. Like I wasn't watching golf when Tiger Woods was like, winning major championships. Like I literally started playing golf the year after he won Masters. So, and I never saw him through his heyday. Like I remember maybe it being on like when I was at my grandma and grandpa's house, but I don't have like this affinity for like the history of the game in the same way that other people do. Like I respect it and I appreciate it and I love watching like, old tournaments and stuff like that. But in my opinion, it's kind of like, oh, this is kind of an interesting take on golf. I don't really care. Like, I'll be honest with you guys, like as far as LIV goes, I don't really care about like if somebody wins, I'm like, cool, somebody won. But it's not like, where were they playing? Which tournament was it? Which is it's a lot like more like that for me watching the PGA Tour. Like certain events I definitely want to tune into. And it definitely matters to me who wins. But being at the actual event, it was my first ever pro golf event since I started
you guys
playing.
don't you don't have anything else up that way.
LPGA Tour, they come here every year, but
and
which just happened this last weekend. But yeah, no PGA events up here anymore. And so it was definitely a treat in that regard. Like, and also what a lot of people told me, like I was there with a couple buddies of mine, and they were saying like they've been to the Masters, and they're like, you have no idea how special this is. This is such an intimate setting with how close we're all able to be to all of these players. Like these are some of the best players in the world, and we are literally standing like right next to them on like every shot, every tee box. You could be just like right next to them. And so the level of intimacy that I got to experience, like watching some of these like all-time great players tee it up, was special in my opinion. And watching like how those dudes have to hit the ball is different. Makes you just want to go to the range and then also like maybe give up. But yeah, man, like it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. The way that they laid out that tournament, like at Pumpkin Ridge between like the private and public side, they literally took the best holes of both sides. And so it was a really cool layout, and it was really fun to watch these guys hit it, because you're like standing on the tee box and you're like, yeah, I don't even think I could get the ball to the fairway, let alone, like get home in 5. And so it was cool. It was definitely, special. I got to dap up like DJ and Lee Westwood and Phil, and like, saw Bryson hit it on the range, and so it was cool, like being able to be exposed to that.
Now, did you go to the LPGA event?
I did not. I wanted to go on Saturday, but I had to. So I'm coming off of I just worked almost 90 hours last week.
Oh, good Lord.
So I was basically dead to the world. Like 3:30, I was like working 3:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. every day. So
rough.
And Saturday morning I had to work like 4 hours in the morning, which is like my 6th day in a row. And so I was just like dead to the world.
You were thinking about it, but it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah. Okay, I wanted to go on Sunday, but I had a buddy's birthday party, which is why I went out to that other track and played yesterday. So
one of our listeners, Chris Torres, was chatting with Joe earlier and was saying that he is starting to see a little bit of the players getting annoyed with the music and the crowd chants. Did you see any of that out in Portland? I know it was only the second event and they didn't have some of the premier players that they have now. with it. But did you notice anything like that? Did anything catch you off guard? Like this may be a little bit too rowdy for professional golf, or did it seem fine?
We're Nish and Chris, two very amateur golfers, on a quest to play the top 100 courses in the UK and Ireland, after Chris set this challenge on a drunken Saturday night in my kitchen. Join us on our frequently humorous journey of a lifetime as we grapple with the logistical and financial challenge of playing some of the best courses in the world, as well as grappling with our games, because let's face it, it's never just about playing. Sometimes the score matters too. Listen to the Top 110 Golf Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
I definitely noticed myself actually, like on the second day especially, kind of being a little bit of like a referee out there with some of the crowd, because like some people that were there watching these guys play just had no idea like what golf is like, and like like it's hard, and the greens out there were rolling crazy, and that, you know, it's just like show some respect, you know what I mean? Like these guys are playing like for big money, and also like they're taking this seriously, so show a little bit of respect. And like people just didn't really know where to be or what to do, like they were just kind of like 3 sheets to the wind, just having a good time. And so I kept, you know, I was a few times where I was like, yo, shut up, like or quit moving, like, because they just don't know. And I think that's part of like the Portland area, like not a lot of people get to go to pro events, so they don't really know like what the etiquette is. But I saw a couple players, Louis Oosthuizen actually, he got pissed off a couple times at some people in the crowd, just because they just you know, they kept talking, or like they were like walking like straight like be like on the other side of the hole from him while he's getting ready to putt, like from like 25 feet, you know, and it's just like, come on, like he stepped off his ball like 3 different times, and then his caddy kept like screaming at people. So, you know, you definitely see. I was definitely seeing that, and I was kind of like, I wonder if that's just part of this like the whole LIV vibe. Like I've never been to a PGA event, so I don't have anything to contrast it against. But
interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't watch much of it this weekend. The only highlight I've seen is Bryson getting taken out by a rope.
Yeah.
Which
I love seeing that though, man.
What have you?
Dude.
So they got the clip that they're showing a lot of, but have you seen the video of the other person from behind, like to his left and in front of him, that was recording? Because the audio is hilarious when he's like, "Fuck, come on, people, what's wrong with you?" And then he's bent over and he's like, "I can't see out of my right eye."
But like you can also see from that angle the whoever, like one of the volunteers was actually the one holding the rope up.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so like nobody in the crowd was actually touching the rope. It was like it had nothing to do with anybody. It was like, no, dude, like squat a little lower when you're going underneath the rope, I guess, you know? Like what do you do? It's nobody's fault.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, I was waiting for the, you know how it's got kind of a Euro vibe. I was waiting for the guys to come out on the stretcher like they do in freaking soccer games. Haul them off. That would have been hilarious.
Did he keep playing? I guess he must have kept playing.
I have no idea.
I think he did. I didn't watch much at all. Like you said, like I really don't care who wins at all. Like I cared more about Max Homa winning Fortinet, and Fortinet is
and
nothing
Cam
special.
Smith won, and that was Joe's boy.
Yeah, I love Cam Smith, man. But now
it was sad. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of sad seeing Cam Smith go, because he was like just starting to round into form, and it was like
that was a big one, man.
This dude's gonna rattle off like 10 wins on the PGA Tour this next season, right? And then he just like
primed
jumps
to go nuts.
Yeah, I was sad to see him go. Not like I care that much. Like, do what you want to do, but like, that dude could have been like a champion, man.
Legend.
Yeah,
I mean, he still is. He won, you know.
That's true.
Yeah,
but I don't care that he won. It doesn't seem like it means anything.
Right. I just mean like his last major victory though, right before. You know.
For sure. Yeah, that was huge.
But it's it's definitely sad.
Yeah, maybe in like 50 years it'll matter that he won.
Yeah, I mean, who knows what's gonna happen? That's the thing. Like,
You
there's
never
so many
know.
roads this thing could take, and it's captivating the entire golf world, which is cool, and it gives us something to talk about on a podcast all the time. But like,
Yeah.
it's
So
it's
here,
gonna take some time.
I'll do a quick little pro stuff here. So Taylor Montgomery, friend of ours, UNLV golfer, still trying to get him on the show, but now that he banged out a top 3, he may be too good for us. But yeah, shot a 64 on Sunday, just made some ridiculous putts because I don't know if, well, JP, you may not know, but there used to be, what was the putting competition called? That was real popular where they had the stadium up behind Planet Hollywood. Do you
I don't
remember what that was called, Jeremy?
I'm
I
not
did
that
it a couple
old.
of years too. Can't remember. Anyways, but he won that one year. So hell of a putter. So that was cool to see. Took home $552,000 in his debut
First
on the
start on
PGA
tour.
Tour. First start on tour.
Dang.
Well, I mean, as a tour player, he's
Right,
played
yeah,
in a
yeah.
couple other events.
He
But
played at Torrey.
so when he started the day, he was 5 under and got to 13 under by himself in third, 552K.
Balling out.
If he would have stayed at 5 under, that spot paid 24,000.
Wow.
So congrats to him for banking a cool $500,000.
Yeah, dude. Way to
now
get it going.
he can take that money that the PGA Tour gave him and say,
Mhm.
"Here you go. Don't need that anymore. Thank you very
That's
much."
a wash.
Yeah. And then Danny Willett. Did you see the 3-putt? JP?
I saw it. Yeah,
I did. That was
Jeremy, did you see it?
brutal,
I did.
bro.
The laughing, smiling
Oh.
was a broken man.
Oh
That
my
was-
God.
That was really hard to watch.
Oh, and it started when Max made that chip because he was
Yeah.
laughing and smiling. That he's like, yeah, I still got a fucking short putt to win this. Go to hell. And then he 3-jacks. So that putt cost him $568,000.
Oh my
Crazy.
gosh.
Right? So
And I mean, I
I mean,
don't know
he-
what his status is coming up, but I mean that also
yeah,
Danny Willett,
potentially
knocks him out. Yeah, but I mean, he still took 872,000. So not a bad day. But yeah, that was a $500,000 putt that he missed to win the tournament.
Wow.
It's got to just crush your soul. Like, I mean, it would crush mine. Like,
Oh
yeah, it's
my
half a
God.
mil.
Dude. And
Oh,
from like
man.
8 feet. 8 feet.
I don't even
3-putt.
think it was 8 feet. I think it was
Six
that was
4.
4 feet.
Yeah.
Was it 4?
Yeah, I thought
Oh,
Yeah,
somebody said it
because
was 4 feet. Yeah.
the second putt was longer than the first.
Mm-hmm.
insane.
Yeah, I was watching the highlight with Erica, and I'm like, "Hey, watch this." I said, "He makes this, he wins $1.4 million," and he missed it. She goes, "Ooh." I said, "Hey, if he makes this, he goes to a playoff." She goes, "Ooh." It's like the most interested she's been in golf ever.
I love Max Homa though, dude. I'm happy to see him.
I was
go
so
back
happy to see
back,
him
dude.
win.
Dude,
He
Homa's
played
like top
so
3 I'd want
good.
to play with.
He played so good. Harry didn't have a good tournament, missed the cut by a couple strokes, but it's gonna happen. But
I think
yeah,
Max is poised to go off this year, too.
Oh,
Dude,
for sure, dude.
those stingers he was hitting, oh
Amazing.
my goodness, just
Amazing.
and so smooth. Just so doesn't look like he gets flustered at all.
And just
I love his
such a great
swing.
vibe. Great
Yeah,
vibe,
and
too,
like
dude.
that's like your ideal PGA Tour pro grinding for years, failing, and then just going off. That's
Yeah.
the story you love to hear.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Yep, and this is the thing that I love about the PGA Tour that you can't get on LIV. There was 140 some guys that teed it up, and every single one of them had a chance. Every single one of them, all they had to do is play well. They can have it. They can have a chance, and it's just when you got 48 guys, they're the same guys. I mean, Dustin Johnson is lighting LIV up. That 4 Aces team has won 4 events in a row since they got Patrick Reed and Perez, and it's just it doesn't seem.
Here's
to
the
me-
thing, right? Like last year when we were talking about, or last week when we were talking about the odds, like the betting odds, like I said, 250 to 1, Byung Hun on. Like that
Yeah,
is
you were all
not a
over
bad
that.
pick. And he was running it. Like dude almost won. He was close. What did he end up like 5th or something like that?
Fifth-
250
fifth or
to
sixth, yeah.
1 at the bottom.
and was
that's-
almost there.
That's what's so good about this time of the season, like where not everyone's in it. Like anybody can win. It's like any given Sunday. Like I love that.
So, JP, got to ask you,
Yeah.
are you excited for the President's Cup?
I'm actually pretty stoked. I think it's
Are
going to
you?
be fun to watch. Yeah.
This
I've
would be
never,
the first-
I've never watched one. So
Yeah, last one
did
was 2019, right? That was Royal Melbourne. Royal Melbourne.
remember her? How much have you had to drink, Joe?
Just a few.
You drinking rosé?
No, I'm more sophisticated nowadays. I am a golfer, so I've switched to whiskey, bourbon, old fashions.
Oh,
respect
making
it.
your
I'm
own.
trying to
making
cut
your
the
own?
weight. I was drinking way too much beer.
Trying
Trying to get that swing speed up for Georgia.
Yep, that's what I got. This right here. Yeah,
I'm
Dude,
drinking
when we-
Crystal Light lemonade.
Crystal Light lemonade.
I'm drinking water. So,
Oh man.
okay.
So, yeah,
Ask me
President's
the
Cup.
question again. President's Cup.
President's Cup.
Yes. So I've never seen one. So I'm just kind of stoked to watch the vibes. I'm assuming, or at least from what I've heard, it's kind of similar to the Ryder Cup.
Yeah, it is. It is the
Um,
Ryder Cup basically, but it's USA and the internationals, not Europe.
Right. So being able to watch, some of the best like tee it up against each other and like see a team format. I love watching a team format. That's just fun. When you can get behind your country, your squad, and just go nuts for a few days. I think everyone's gonna get a little rowdy, which is always a good time to watch. But yeah, I'm stoked to see it. And plus that track, man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching live from the President's Cup. Thank God that's back on
Oh, yeah.
this afternoon. And they actually have changed. They call it the Green Mile, which is 16, 17, and 18. That is now 13, 14, 15. And they're playing hole 9, 11, and 10 or something like that. They're the closing holes are different. They
Oh,
mixed it
wow.
up.
Interesting.
Yeah. So the closing holes are now, because 9 is now 18. That's what it is, and then 10 is now 17 or 16. So it goes 16, then
Interesting.
17, 18, and they're crazy long. They said that it's almost 1,600 yards. Those 3 holes.
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Wow. Right.
But I mean, 18 is like such a good finishing hole.
It's an
though.
icon,
like,
but it's
how-
now it's not. Which that's
Yeah.
what I'm excited for. I didn't know they were doing this.
I didn't
Chambly
hear
was
anything
talking
about
about it and showed the change that they're doing. I'm like, holy shit, that is. I mean, having those 3 holes, that stretch
Mhm.
in the middle of the back 9 is amazing.
Yep.
Make things really interesting.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So okay, there are. Guess how many rookies on both teams combined there are?
They
Like
got to be
7.
primarily on international team.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Probably more.
14.
Wow.
What?
14 out of 24 first timers.
Because
Oh my gosh.
there's so many guys that left the international team.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
and you got DJ that's not going to be there. Patrick Reed that's not going to be there. Not that he would have been there, but
Right.
so the first timers for the American team: Scheffler, Burns, Horschel, Morikawa, and Cameron Young. Our
He is
oldest,
solid though. Solid.
our most tenured, or most what would be experienced President Cup golfer. You know who it is? Know who it is?
Tony Finau.
Nope.
Rory.
Nope. Rory.
Rory.
Rory
What the hell
likes Quail Hollow.
No. I
I
said
know
our
he's not
most.
on.
He's not on the American team.
On the American side.
He's not even
Oh,
playing.
maybe Jordan
I
Spieth.
know he's not.
Jordan Spieth.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then on the international side, Tom Kim, Corey Connors, Mito Pereira, Taylor Pendrith, K.H. Lee, Sebastian Munoz, Christian Bezadenhout, and Cam Davis are all the rookies.
It's
Wow.
crazy.
Dude,
Guess who?
it's- Go ahead.
You know who their most
Probably
tenured
Adam
players?
Scott.
Yeah.
The
And
grandfather on the team.
and
Can
what
be like
appearance is this for him?
Sounds like some money
Like
needs to be
12?
placed on the U.S.
Close. No. 10th. It was his 10th.
He's so old.
dude,
God,
looking
man.
at the rosters.
unique
it's
low.
like, yeah, it's like the most unbalanced team. But I
And
think
his
the
UPS
USA.
uniform.
I think the USA needs to be careful.
There's
That's
some
true, though.
sticks. There's some sticks. That Tom Kim, he just
Mhm.
won at the end of the year last year.
And he just got Ricky's caddy.
Yeah, he's a stick. Sungjae is a stick. Matsuyama, he's always gonna play well. Adam Scott's been playing great lately. Siwoo Kim has been playing good. Cam Davis. I mean, they got some players. It's not gonna be a walk
And
in the park. like
Rory's on
everybody
the
thinks.
international team, yeah.
No,
Yeah, he didn't get in. He that was my fuck up.
He's on the European. He's Ryder Cup.
He's Ryder Cup.
He was talking about how
Can you not be both?
Uh-uh.
Oh,
No. Yeah, this is like
but
Asia,
Rory loves Quail
Australia,
Hollow
New
though,
Zealand,
so like that's
Canada.
interesting.
Yeah, Rory, he's won there.
Oh yeah, he loves
Quail
Quail
Hollow.
Hollow. Rightfully so.
Next
Yeah,
Ryder Cup though is going to be so good.
Yeah, for
Oh,
sure.
well,
Yeah.
That's what I was watching the DP World Tour this weekend because that's the course that they were playing in Rome.
Adair
Is where
Manor?
they're going to be playing at.
Oh, dude, Adair Manor looks so sick.
Wow.
So
that
sick.
track, so
Yeah.
sick, dude. That's one of the tracks that it's on the list. Like,
Oh man, big time.
I drove right past it when I was in Ireland a few years ago before I was even into golf, and was like, "What is that? That looks cool." Come to find out it was
Wow.
Adair Manor. Like that
Oh,
place is
man.
crazy.
Dude, picture perfect, man.
Mm.
So how many places have you gone around to play golf?
Like states or
yeah, wherever. How far have you broadened your horizons from Portland?
well, I've been.
I know you've been to Bandon.
Yeah, Bandon is like where I live when I'm not here. But I've been as far south as San Diego, so played quite a few tracks down in the San Diego area. And then as far east as Montana, I played a couple of tracks out in Montana.
Good golf out there.
Yeah. Paul, what
Different
kind of
golf.
sucks? What's that Nicholas track?
Anaconda?
No, it's in Anaconda. What is it called?
Old Works?
Yeah, Old Works. So
Yeah.
I was story time. I was gonna go to Old Works on the day that we were leaving, because we were in Helena for a wedding. And the night before, we had a very good night. And we're up until like 3 a.m. Just one of those ones.
Yeah.
And my wife the next morning was just under the weather. She was under the rug for sure.
You're so kind.
So we I had to the point where I loaded up the entire car. Like she was just in the passenger seat, and so I was planning on driving down to Old Works, but I was like, I felt terrible about the idea of leaving her in the car for 4 hours while I'm out there playing Old Works. And it was also 2 hours out of the way to get down there. And I was like, well, this means that we're definitely going to have to stay in Coeur d'Alene tonight if this is,
it's not a bad idea.
Well, that was the plan all along anyways, but there was a slim chance that we were going to be able to make it all the way to La Grande area, Baker City, which is kind of Eastern Oregon. Anyways, she wasn't doing well, so I kind of made the executive decision. I was like, I'm gonna have to pass on Old Works this time around. And then come to find out, I've been talking with this dude on Instagram for a while who lives out in Missoula, and he's like, did you play Old Works when you were out in Montana? I was like, no. He's like, wow, man, you missed such a treasure. It's
how long have you been married?
Dude, it's tough.
We just celebrated our 2-year anniversary in July.
You get up to 10, 11 years, she'd have been sleeping in the car. You'd have been playing golf.
I know, no kids. We're only 2 years in though, so yeah, it was one of those game time decisions that I just well, take one for the team. And actually, what's crazy is I actually ended up driving all the way home from Helena that day. So I was just like, well, what's another 5 hours, 6 hours in the car? Let's just make the haul.
Let's just get home.
Yeah. So I was a little bit sad, but didn't get to play Old Works. I played this other track called Canyon River, which is in Missoula. Sick golf course. Kind of got a prairie style. Runs right along this canyon river, literally. And that was a good experience. I played a muni in Helena that was nothing to write home about, but
Dude, there's
Yeah.
so much golf out there.
That
It's
Eastern
crazy.
Oregon drive is a yawner, man. Good God. I think driving through Nevada is bad sometimes. My mom lives in Boise, and so we've gone
Okay.
from Boise across to the coast, and
It's
man.
brutal, man.
God.
It's so flat and so boring, and just
Oh.
it's not a good time.
How
Yeah,
far
but
is
then
Gamble
Smells like
Sands
onions.
from you?
That's on the list too. I was
Oh,
actually going
big
to try
time.
to get in that track the end of this month, but my buddies who were supposed to go with me, like nothing really worked out on the calendar. I just did a little work with Suncadia, which is a resort kind of like 2 hours away from Gamble Sands, and so I've got like a stay and play up there that I've got to book at some point in the next year. So what I was going to do is like hit Suncadia and then go and do Gamble as well, like on the same trip, and then just make it a loop and come back.
Gamble looks sick.
But not this year. Gonna have to put that one on ice until next season.
Yeah.
Just because
It's
the
my
weather
number one
changes out
course
there.
in America that I want to play.
Really?
It's on. Well, I've got a lot of good ones off my list so far, but that I've had so many people that I know that have gone there that said so underrated, so amazing. You definitely need to go.
Well, I played Chambers a couple of weeks ago, and that was on my list for quite a while. And I think it's Chambers, Gamble Sands, and Aldera are the top 3 tracks. Like they all like kind of switch places in like the top 3 in Washington State.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to get Gamble. I've got a buddy who's a member at Aldera, so I'm hopefully going to get up there at some point too. Maybe even this season.
Nice.
So,
Dude,
but yeah, Gamble, dude.
When we flew out to Bandon for the solstice, we flew into Seattle, and
Okay.
I was trying to talk Matt into like screw our trip from Seattle to Eugene. Like, let's just get the car here. We'll stop at Chambers and then hit Bandon. He wasn't having it.
Chambers is sick, man.
The reason why I wasn't having it is because a week and a half prior to that, I just did like 4,000 miles where we drove from here all the way up to Linden, Washington, by the border.
Yeah.
We did a family trip where we did Mount Rainier, Olympic National Park, and then Cascade National Park. And so I had just done that drive.
You're like, hell no.
Oh,
hell no, Joe.
We went from, dude, I'll drive. Like, not a big deal. Chambers, bro.
We went from Seattle. We left Linden, drove to Seattle, stopped in Salem to visit Willamette College for my daughter, and then drove down to Klamath Falls. And I was like, I told you, I said, no, I'm not doing it again.
I was trying to leave the airport to go get some coffee or something. This guy wasn't down. We had like we had a layover. How long were we in that Seattle airport? Like 7 hours, dude.
It wasn't 7 hours. It was like
it was a long time, dude.
It was like
took a
4.
long time. Especially when you're trying to go to Bandon, you're like, dude, let's get the fuck on with this.
No,
so you guys flew from Seattle to
Eugene.
Bandon or to Eugene. Okay.
And we did Vegas to Seattle, Seattle to Eugene.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a buddy that lives in Eugene, and we were gonna go play a course out there, but they had some rain damage, and so we ended up playing a different course. But that's why we were going to Eugene.
Which one were you guys gonna play?
Emerald Valley.
Okay.
Great. Yeah. Have you played it?
Not yet.
Great course.
We did Diamond Woods instead, which was still super sick.
Yeah, it was fun.
They got some good tracks out there.
Oh, we teed off at like 6 o'clock.
Eugene Country Club is sick, I hear.
Yeah.
Eugene Country Club is amazing. It is. You're walking, because we played that the first year I went to Bandon for the solstice. Buddy that I travel with quite a bit, he got us on Eugene, and oh my goodness, the turf out there, it's fake. It just doesn't look real. It's so green and so soft.
Dude, I'm like born and raised in Vegas. I've never seen a place greener in my entire life than Eugene, Oregon. It's crazy.
So green.
It's a beautiful place. I don't mind Eugene one bit. I have a friend actually, she's a photographer, like does a lot of golf stuff. She's from up here. Her and her husband moved down there. Sophie McFowle. I don't know if you guys follow Sophie on Instagram, but she's a good follow. But she just moved down there, and so Eugene Country Club is now her home track. So
sick.
She's always just like throwing up like just bangers from Eugene Country Club if you just want to have some golf envy.
some of those holes are just incredible.
So
Gosh, they're so
next
good.
June, before the solstice, we meet in Eugene, play the
No.
CC.
You guys just fly to Portland. I'll drive your asses to Bandon.
Honestly,
There you
that's
go.
what we said
Straight up.
when we flew out there. I was like, dude, we should just flew into Portland, dude. We went to had the layover, like, man.
Flying to Portland.
Hey, who booked the flights?
I'll put you guys up at the house here, and we can play a track up here, and then the next day we'll just drive down to Bandon. We'll all go
Done.
together.
So
Done.
before we got on the call, right, Jeremy was talking about, because Jeremy was going to be down for the solstice, because I want to hear this. Why is Jeremy not down for the solstice next year anymore?
Uh-oh.
So here's what the conversation that Dan and I had in the car the other day. Dan's the other guy because Joe and Matt are now a package deal with the solstice.
Oh,
So now me and Dan
I
are
don't want to
of,
miss another one in my entire life. It's the most incredible experience in your life.
So two things. So one, huge chunk of change. And I have like long-term commitment issues. So if I'm going to go play golf,
true.
I need like 2 weeks and I'm in. I'm fully in.
Yeah.
A year, that's kind of tough. Not a year, 9 months. The other thing we talked about, this might be something that you could shoot down really easily. I'm almost embarrassed to say this. But it seems like to enjoy the courses more, you need to play them and take your time instead of rushing through them in the solstice.
Bullshit.
Well, you've never done the solstice, right, JP?
I haven't. Nope. Not yet.
But how many courses have you knocked out at Bandon in one day? You've done 36. Have you done 54?
Yeah, I've done 36. I did 36 and Preserve. That's like the most golf balls I played in a day down there. I actually did 36 to Preserve and Shorties, which if you count Shorties.
That's what we did our first day there this last year.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is just my opinion. Like once you get to Bandon, man, like the golf, like your body, it just enters a different, enters a different level of like, I can play golf
Forever.
and like,
The
like
pain
your
just goes
legs
away.
just will not stop moving. If you have golf in front of you, you will see it through. Like, that's just how it is at Bandon. Like, I don't know, at least for me, like, obviously it can wear on you, especially if you're used to riding. And I know down there in Vegas, it gets hot as hell. And so y'all ride like a lot, but dude, it's something about it's like somebody was telling me that the town of Bandon is in like, there's several places in the world that are like this vortex of like magic. And like literally, like it's scientifically proven that Bandon, Oregon is in that like one of those vortexes of like, it's just a
gotta go
special
stand
place.
in the stones in the lodge. Just gotta go stand in the middle of the stones, and you're good to go.
Oh, it just like, I don't know. Like I feel like I could play as many holes as I can get in. I'm gonna get in until I can't see my golf ball.
Dude, I wouldn't have stopped. Stopped. Like we did Trails wasn't in the rotation this year, so we did we started on Bandon, then we played Pack, and then we played Mac, and then Sheep, and then I talked Matt into doing Preserve because that's really all the time we had left. So we did 85. There's no way I would have stopped if there was still more sun.
Oh, I was still ready to go. The next day I felt like I died, but if there would have been more light, we would have kept going.
It's the most magical place I've ever been for golf. Like there's no way anything tops that place. I don't see it happening. I've said this before. Like Sand Valley looks awesome. I don't see it beating Bandon. I don't see Pinehurst beating Bandon. I don't see anything beating Bandon. Like it's just like I wouldn't have stopped. Like you said, there's no way. Like I had,
Did that ease your mind at all, Jeremy?
It made it much worse.
Now he's going, honey,
Jeremy, though, like I don't think that. I mean, what would be doable for you, man, especially like if you're more of like on a whim type of person, is like if you can get time off, especially with work or you got a flexible schedule, like let's look at the weather, and then like 2 to 3 weeks out, we'll just make sure that there's going to be some decent weather, and you can just like fly up here in the off season, like January, February, March, and fly into Portland, and I will take you myself. We will go down for like 2 days and just like play Bandon. Cause like you can, at that
You
point,
can walk on tomorrow.
Yeah, you can walk on.
like you can, there's always golf. There's always tee times available. Like a lot of people who, you know, live out of state, like they don't get the opportunity to go that often because usually you're going to stay on property. But like the thing that a lot of people don't know is that if you don't stay on the property, like you could book your hotel out like 3 months in advance or like 2 months in advance, and then call like 2 weeks ahead and schedule golf.
Same time. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's another way to do it, just to like get your feet wet or get a Bandon experience in, especially because like flights from Vegas to Portland are so cheap.
Yeah.
Like so cheap. And then like, you know, during the off season, like it's $150 around. I think $100 around a certain part of the year. It might be like 120 now, but I mean, and you can get like, and I don't know if they told you, they probably did, but in January this year, there was like 43 days straight of sunshine.
Yeah. Ban Diego.
Like, yeah, Ban Diego. Yeah, Ban Diego. So I mean,
dude, that's what I've been telling these fools. Like, let's just go in January, but everybody's scared that it's just going to be downpour cold. But like, my birthday.
I've never told you I wouldn't go in January.
So, because you posted the other day that you booked you're going to stay on property for the first time in January.
Yep.
After you posted that, I was like, let me look what's available right now. And I saw December. I was like a week before Christmas. Could I do that? Could I pull that off? And I was thinking about it. I didn't do it, but you can catch and that's the magic of Bandon. Like you can catch some 70-degree weather in the middle of December or January or whenever. And it's going to give you whatever it wants to give you. That's the thing. Like, whatever you're meant to get out there, that's what you're going to get.
That, you know,
totally
fills your shoes in 5 minutes, which
yeah.
I've had once, but I've been 9 times and only been rained on once. So
yeah, it's going to give you what it needs to give you. That's the thing.
All right,
it's a spiritual experience, man.
Let's get the JP Bandon Dunes ranking. Everybody's got to have a ranking.
All right, so I break it up by like golf holes versus like golf walk. So I have like kind of two different like top courses.
Okay.
My favorite walk at Bandon, hands down, is Sheep Ranch. Like it's just so good.
It's like a stroll. Like you're in the park.
You're in the park, but like you're just, especially that like final stretch, you know, like 16 and 17. Like there's just something about walking to the green on 16 and then just like standing there. Like I've got the largest goosebumps right now. Just, got it too. That's why like you guys have followed me on the gram. Like you see, like I post 16 Sheep Ranch all the time because it's just like, it's the one place that I've stood, like I've had tears streaming down my face standing on that green. Just because I don't know, man. Like
you're looking back at the entire property.
You're looking at the entire property, but you're also like, you look like you just like, even if you just look down the coastline, like you're so far out in the middle, like in the middle of the ocean kind of, right? That like you just feel like you're in a separate world. Like I'm not even at the coast anymore. I'm just in the middle of like golf paradise. But it's like this moment that I just feel like everybody needs to experience that. Like 16 at Sheep Ranch.
Here's my thing on 16 at Sheep Ranch. I flew the green on, what is that, 3? That par 3 where it's the double green.
Okay. Yep.
So I flew it to like the 16th green, and I walked down there.
He got it early.
And I got the experience way too early. Like it hit me. I was like, holy shit. It's like a gut punch. I wish I didn't hit my ball too far off the green, because that moment, like on 16, would have just been like way too epic. And I experienced it too soon.
I think I actually had the same exact. I had mine long on number 3 too, and it was kind of a.
You walked down that hill, and you're just like, "Whoa, holy shit!" I was not prepared for this moment.
I didn't like look around, like I didn't quite hit it like that far to where I was like fully around the corner, so I couldn't see the entire hole. But I just like saw it, and I was like, "What is this?" And then somebody
they wouldn't let Joe putt from down there. They told him to pick it up and go to a drop area.
Yeah.
They didn't want people putting down there anymore, and I'm like, that's kind of BS. But I mean, I get it. there's balls coming in from the tee box. So
Yeah.
Yeah, and depending on where the wind's blowing, like you can get rocked in the
Totally.
forehead. So
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
especially because everybody tries to flight one in there, and like not everybody knows how to flight one. And so
well,
like,
I
it can
hit
just be a danger
the
zone.
first. We played in the afternoon on a. We got there Sunday, so we played Sunday afternoon after trails, and it was a little windy. It wasn't crazy, but I hit I think a 5-iron off the tee, and then in the solstice I hit driver.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was ripping.
Oh,
It was like 50-mile-an-hour winds. How the
No
ball was
way.
staying on the tee was, I mean, and this was our last round. And so that home stretch, you know, as you're coming back towards the 18th tee, it's all downwind or all upwind. And
I don't think I've ever had more fun putting a ball in the fucking ocean in my entire life. Like it was
that video of him hitting on the champions tees for 17 that are right next to the 16th green.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that was unreal.
It was a blast.
Oh my
All
gosh.
right, so what's next after Sheep?
So Sheep Ranch, favorite walk. Second favorite walk at Bandon is, gosh, it's probably got to be OG Bandon. I think that like just some of the views and the way that the greens disappear.
That first hole is so epic.
First hole at Bandon?
Yeah, it's so good.
I call that the volcano. So
yeah, that one's pretty sick. Man, there's so many good holes. Like that short par 4 that you have to hit like no, it's on the front. That you have to hit like I don't know, you could probably hit like a 5-iron, 6-iron, or you can hit like a 3-wood. But then you because it's like that like sharp dog leg right.
Yeah.
And then it opens up and there's the green and there's the ocean and you're just like,
oh,
what?
Yeah.
That hole is that might be my like one of my favorite golf holes on OG Bandon. But OG Bandon is probably number 2 for a golf walk. 3 is going to be trails all day because trails just is so sick.
My favorite.
4 as far as a walk goes, Old Mac, and then I don't know. It's probably Pacific Dunes then Old Mac as far as the walk goes. Pacific, which is, this might be controversial, but like Pacific's not one of my favorite courses at Bandon. It's probably because it's like kicked my teeth in so much. Just the green complexes at Pacific are
they're just so crazy.
They elude me because like if you're just not nice with it off the tee all day at Pacific, like, and you're in any poor position, and like I just try to I try to be a hero probably a little bit too often when I'm at Bandon. It's just really hard to score well at Pacific Dunes, especially in a wind or in some weather. So Pacific kind of that's the reason why it's lower on my list. But also like very underrated because like I think the big courses get all the attention, but like Preserve is probably like if we're just like rating like golf holes and like views and like what the heck is this?
Preserve is right there.
Preserve is like right there, top 3. Like no
greatest par 3
like,
course ever.
Like no one can tell me otherwise. It's
have you played Preserve barefoot?
I haven't yet. No.
That will change your life.
I'm planning on it with this big trip in January. Like I plan on doing all the things that I haven't really gotten to do because I'm not staying on property.
So we showed up on Sunday morning, played trails, went to Sheep, and then did Preserve after that, right? Is that what we did?
Yeah, that sounds right.
And so Joe says, I'm going to do this barefoot because he's heard all the rage about doing it barefoot. I'm like,
after solstice.
No, this was before the solstice.
I didn't play barefoot until solstice. Till the last.
Yes, you
13.
did, didn't you?
No.
I thought you played.
No, played barefoot the last round. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Dude, I know my
jury's
feet,
jury's still out on that one.
Because I was you're crazy to go barefoot when we got the solstice coming up because you're going to step on a root or you're going to step on a twig.
It doesn't matter.
It's going to get infected.
It doesn't really matter anyway. Preserve barefoot is the greatest golf experience you'll ever experience in your life.
And we did it as the sun was going down, and so the last 2 holes were in the dark. It was incredible.
Oh, that sounds like a good time.
We leave.
I love Preserve.
We leave Sheep. We go over to there, and my buddy Scott, who's a caddy out there, he caddied for me for the solstice. He met us, and we tell him, like, hey, we're gonna go play, and they're like, just so you know, there's no services out there, so if you fall, you're on your own. Okay, I think we'll be okay. We'll be okay. But oh my goodness, that was
Dude, 3 club challenge barefoot at Preserve after playing 72 is the greatest experience of my life so far.
It was so much fun. So much fun.
I love the holes out there. Like Preserve is just, I've played Preserve every single time I've been to Bandon, except for the last trip that I took. Man, and it's just because we couldn't get on. It was shut down because of the junior am.
Oh yeah,
you couldn't play it during the junior am, which kind of sucked. But
really, that's weird.
Yeah, they had a bunch of like camera stuff like set up over there to be able to like get like on
get the
a couple of the
18th view.
holes. Yeah,
Yeah,
the
17 and
18th.
18.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it was they just shut it down for a while. But okay, so favorite golf courses at Bandon as far as the golf holes. Number 1 for me is Old Mac.
Nice.
That's just, in my opinion, you just have to hit so many different shots out there to even have a chance.
It's the course you can be the most creative on.
Oh, by far. And there's just some sick complexes out there. Like some of the green complexes.
The green complexes,
they're
nuts,
so
dude.
big. They're so freaking
insane.
Big.
That first par 3 was it 4 or 5? No, the second par 3 on the front. After that long ass par 4, that green is insane.
Depending on where the pin is too, like you can almost hole out on that one, which is kind of wild. Like if it's short left, like front left,
that little bowl area, yeah.
Yeah, man. Like I put one the last time I played Old Mac, birdied that hole. I nearly got a hole in one. That was like second closest I've ever been to a hole in one. I was like 12 or 13 inches away from the hole.
Wow.
You just because you just hit it in the right spot and it just like trickles down that backstop and it's just like this is the sickest thing ever. But you get in the wrong spot and you're 4 putting. So
dude, when we were there, because the pin was up front left in the bowl, and me and our playing partner for the Solstice, we were on the back fringe, like straight ahead back fringe, and it was like they were betting us like this is 3-putt guaranteed, $20 on it. We both 2-putted, which was sick.
Let's go.
Yeah, that was fun.
Like triple tier.
The creativity you have to like have a decent round at Old Mac is just, it's just so fun. And
it's like a walk through history, dude.
Yeah.
So much good stuff.
Like the ghost tree hole, like let's just like we're just right out of the gate.
Hole.
Yeah.
I mean, punch bowl, like there's so many.
Did you see that they're building a sports bar?
Yeah, that's gonna be sick.
That overlooks 18. Oh man, that's gonna be so amazing.
Yeah, they said it'll be done. I think July next year, July next year. So pretty stoked about that. So number 1 is Old Mac by far. Number 2 is Trails. Trails is just, I don't know how you guys feel about Trails, but man, Trails
it's my favorite course.
Yeah, it's such a track.
I'm Trails Old Mac.
For Trails, for me, it was like the first like golf experience I had out there, and I was just so hyped up, dude. Like I was like so stoked to be there, and I shanked it off the first tee, like
first 2 tees.
Yeah, first 2 tees.
That first tee shot's no joke, though.
Dude.
You have no idea what the hell you're doing sometimes. If you look at it, you're like, where's the golf course?
Yeah, I was so pumped, dude. I was like so stoked to be there, and it took me 6-7 holes probably to calm down, and Trails is the number 1 course I need to play again because I didn't fully digest it.
And when you're so hyped on your first round, I feel like I tell this to everybody that I bring to Bandon for their first time, which I've had a handful of guys like go with me down there, like very first experience. I tell everyone like, okay, so first thing that you need to know about your first round at Bandon is you're going to putt like shit.
Yeah.
Second thing you need to know is you're going to be so out of your element because it's so insanely like awe-inspiring just being on the property and like seeing this type of golf because you've just never seen anything like it in your life. That you're going to probably overpack, so don't overpack. Like put a couple, like leave a couple of clubs in the car. Like don't bring everything that you think that you might need, just like grab half of it. Because that'll just make your experience so much more enjoyable. You won't be as overwhelmed, like trying to, like, you're gonna be forgetting stuff, like you're gonna be making sure that you have all your, and it's just like pack light and just enjoy the walk as much as you possibly can. For your first trip, because it's gonna rock your socks off. Totally. So yeah, number 2 is trails. Number 3, this one's hard. I'd probably say number 3 has got to be OG Bandon. It's just, man, there's some bangers out there on that golf course, and it's just like, first track. And a lot of people, I always tell people I love 18 at OG Bandon, and they're like, why? And I'm like, nobody understands that, but I just like, there's something about having such a wild experience, like especially for your first time, if that's like your first time ever being near the ocean playing golf. There's something about coming around the bend and seeing the lodge just in all of its glory right there, and like that 18th green. That's just a great golf hole. Anyways,
dude, Bandon feels like you're playing golf in the Lion King, bro. Like that's what I thought. Like I'm playing golf in the Lion King movie.
He's in the Serengeti.
It's just special, man. And like, my first trip to Bandon, we had like a 6 club wind both at Bandon. 6 to 7 club wind at both at Bandon and at Sheep. And that, so I think like I was just survival, like golf didn't matter. It was like you hit the ball in the air and it's going 10 yards. But man, like those freaking holes are so good
literally
at OG Bandon.
Matt makes fun of me because I like pretty much cried when I stepped on 16 tee box.
He was in. We were at the airport in Salt Lake waiting for our flight home, and he's looking through his photos on his phone, and he comes at 16, and he's got grabbing a napkin, and he's doing this. I'm like, are you fucking crying right now?
Dude,
I respect that so much.
Dude, that moment on 16 was like special, man.
Such a special place. Yep.
All right.
So 3, and then 4th's probably going to be Sheep. 5th's going to be Pack Dunes. I don't know. Like Pack Dunes has some crazy good holes. I don't know. That's the thing is like
you could switch it all up and it's all okay.
It's I mean, like you can't really like they're probably going to keep switching places. And like the last time somebody asked me this question, they were a little different. It just, after every trip, I think like one course will grow on me a little bit more, and it'll like change places, and then I'll go and have a better experience at a different one. So then that will change places. Like I've been 9 times now. Plan on going 150 more, and it just never gets old. I got to learn more about the golf course and links golf every time I'm out there. And I'm just absolutely.
Are you going to entertain doing the solstice? Is that something you want to try and do, or are you much more just a casual 36?
Yeah, because Jeremy's out, so we need someone else.
I'm definitely not opposed to doing the solstice. What I honestly would love to do, and maybe I'll do this for one of y'all, but I would love to come and maybe not play the solstice, but come and carry the bag for one of you guys.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Or like switch it up, or like just like just to be out there for the solstice. I don't necessarily want to loop the entire thing carrying the bag, but carrying
There's not many caddies out there that will do it either.
Yeah, there are not. And the ones that do, like, they deserve to be in the Caddy Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Scott's a trooper.
I can't even, like, especially if you're double bagging, like, forget about it.
No,
forget about it. You better be carrying like 6 clubs in like the lightest bag you've ever seen.
And you better not lose a ball because you got 3.
Yeah, three, and you're holding all 3 of them. So,
JP, so this is one of the things that they gave us for completing the solstice, right? It's a Seamus head cover.
Okay.
It says Survivor on it. It's got the solstice logo inside, 72 on the top, and it has all the logos on it.
That's so sick.
Do you know?
It's a little blurry, so I can't quite see. You'll have to shoot me a picture of it on the gram or something. But that's sick.
Dude.
Seamus does some cool stuff for them.
Akbar
Seamus does cool stuff in general, but
yeah.
Okay. I think I got them all. I mean, that's the thing. Again, I gotta shout out Preserve, because like Preserve is like just connected to any Bandon experience. Like I tell everybody, like if you're gonna go, like you can't skip like even if you don't get to play all the courses, don't skip the Preserve.
Don't skip Preserve. Exactly.
In fact, I tell like Preserve would be my first stop at Bandon.
I think on my rankings, Preserve ended up. Where did Preserve rate on mine? Two. Second.
Yeah.
Behind Pack, your least favorite.
I think it's a great way to introduce yourself to the facility.
100%.
Oh,
is
totally.
playing Preserve.
Yeah,
totally.
100%.
Okay, so if you get a hole-in-one on the Preserve, does it count?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so you're a new golfer, so I gotta ask because
No,
a lot
absolutely.
of people will say par 3 course, hole-in-ones don't count.
A hole-in-one is a hole-in-one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
If there's a box to fill in a score and you can put a 1 in it, it's a hole-in-one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't care where you are. It doesn't have to be a full round of 18. It can be 9 holes. You can still get a hole-in-one.
On a closest to the pin contest, if you get the closest to the pin but don't make the birdie putt, do you win? These are dilemmas that I have as running a golf league.
Yes, it's still
I feel like
if
you don't, I feel like it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, you kind of almost have to certify the fact that you got KP, you know. But also, if KP is like 7 feet,
you gotta make par.
Like, well, I mean, at least you gotta make par, but you know what I mean. Like, I played a tournament earlier this year at a par 3 track actually, and like the longest hole is like a 200-yard, like a 200-yard shot. And I got KP from like, I think I was like 7 feet.
Nice.
Like there's like 100 people in this, like 7 feet took it. And I was like, how did I?
Yeah.
I mean, but I feel like, you know, you just never know, right?
You never know, man.
Our friend Julian this past Saturday hit it to 11 inches and missed the putt.
Did he really?
Yep.
That is disturbing.
Julian?
Yeah.
That was my first ever KP.
Wait a second.
Butte.
No, what hole is that?
On an 8.
Yeah, 8. He beat me.
He was
and missed the putt.
See, you wrote that. What did you hit? You hit 10 feet, right, Jeremy?
Yeah.
He did not hit it to 11 inches. I saw this because it wasn't 11 inches. It was like 7-11. It wasn't 11 inches. You got that wrong. So you either wrote it down wrong. So I really do not believe it was 11 inches. It was probably like 311 or something like that. I was playing. He was in my group,
Yeah, I know. That's why I was going to ask you because I sent him a message. I go, how did you miss 11 inches? He goes, bad read.
Yeah. Speaking of, when you get out here, JP, you got to go to Coyote Springs, man.
Coyote
Springs?
No.
Dude. Like, we got to get you to Paiute and Coyote
Springs.
Springs.
In the desert.
Mm-hmm.
I've been down to Vegas for golf once.
Really? Where'd you play?
Golf Sutherland.
Golf Summerlin.
Summerlin. Yeah, sorry, not Sutherland. Summerlin.
That's Highland Falls, Eagle Crest, and Palm Valley.
Highland Falls.
Yeah. Good views out there. Number 13 is good.
I played Highland Falls, and then where else did I play? Lord.
Probably Valley High.
No,
Painted Desert.
Painted Desert.
I thought I think I got 2 rounds in while I was out there. Maybe I just played the 1. I don't remember.
Well, we just had our league VGN Vegas Golf Network tournament out at Coyote Springs. And then somebody last week on Twitter, Austin, it's at TOOFDoc13, TOOF Doc13. He says, I'm flying in from out of town next weekend for Mitch's Revenge. Maybe a little Mitch's Revenge preview on next week's show. So, I mean, the back tee boxes aren't getting any play. So,
yeah, Mitch's Revenge is Coyote Springs, since you have never heard of it, it's Jack Nicklaus, like super pissed off. Like,
Angry
the greens
Jack.
are insane. But Mitch's Revenge is this Saturday, and they tip it out to, what is it, like 75?
7,800, because tips are 676.
Yeah, it's like 77, 76, 77.
So they put the
it'd be like 6,800 for like my climate.
And that's like up boxes, right? It's like up. I think the back plays 72, 73.
Where
76. The blacks play 76.
The blacks play 76.
Okay. Yeah, it's tough, dude, but it's like the best.
So yeah, it's probably like 71 Portland area.
Okay. anything close to 7,000 is like sick long.
Yeah, they put the pins in stupid locations,
like on the top of domes. It's like Greenskeeper's Revenge. Like set it up as hard as possible.
What usually wins that tournament?
Well, they have a special pool if you break 80, and I think last year, I didn't go last year, so it was the year before. Some guy had done it, and it was his second year doing it. So I don't know. Didn't 2 people do it last year?
I think so.
Yeah.
2 or 3.
Yeah.
Broke 80?
Yeah.
Broke 80, yeah.
Dang.
It is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
But it is the best $50 you will spend on golf in your life.
$50 to play in that. That's just the tournament's $50?
Well, the course
Or it's
typically
just
is
the course?
$50.
Wow.
The tournament's $80, and it's.
Is that so the resident rates, like when I was there, that was kind of one of the reasons why I didn't play more golf, I think, was like the resident rates were stupid good, and then like the rates for out of towners was like 5 times.
They get raped.
So now that I've got homies down there, I think
for
I
sure.
would get the resident rates.
Absolutely.
Dude, like we play Paiute for like $60 because our buddy Tom is a member out there, and Paiute for out of towners is $180, I think.
Yeah,
180 to 220.
That sounds right. I think it was like 220 when I was there.
Yeah,
because we went during like, well,
peak
it
season.
was off season for us, but like peak season for you guys. Yeah. It wasn't as hot, and it was just everything was stupid. It was like I think Valley High was like 350 or something like that.
Dude,
like,
Valley High is ridiculous for us too now. It's like 150 for us. I'll never spend more than 80 on that place.
Yeah, I've heard like a lot of mixed reviews about Valley High. Like it's just like
it's the same hole over and over and over for the most part.
We say that so much.
Yeah,
there's some good holes out there though. There's some
the outside holes are good, but the middle is redundant.
It's worth checking out for sure.
What about Red Rock? Have you guys played up there?
The private side or the public side?
I don't know.
There's 2 up there. So
okay.
One's Arroyo. It's the public side. The layout, there's no way anyone would ever walk that in their entire life.
It's impossible.
It's ridiculous. You get thrown for a loop. We have not played the private side yet, but it's coming.
Sick.
Yeah, there's only maybe 3 or 4 courses in Clark County that you can walk.
Yeah.
Out of the 60 courses that we have.
I was gonna try to play because it was still open when I was there. Was what is it? Royal Links.
Royal Links.
Yeah,
you can walk Royal Links.
That's no longer available.
Not anymore, though.
Yeah, you'll need quad hoppers.
Yeah,
you need a tractor.
Yeah,
the housing track.
Such a shame, man. That place was sick.
Yeah, you missed out. Royal Links that was a fun golf course.
Yeah, man. Bummer.
Fun golf course. Well, hey, man, thanks so much for hopping on with us. We love chatting with different golfers from different parts of the country, and you got a great perspective of what's happening up there in the PNW, so we really do appreciate it. We got President's Cup this week. We're counting down the days to Georgia, 5-iron, Indoor League. Man, it's going to be a good week of golf. Joe, Jeremy, if you guys don't got anything else, we'll let Joe wrap it up and take us home.
I just want to double check while we got like one of Bandon's ambassadors here, because Jeremy, did JP change your mind on going to Bandon for the solstice?
I mean, he definitely got me more interested in the courses, but I almost feel like I want to play him on a separate trip.
Yeah. All right.
And then do the solstice after.
So does that mean Dan is out also?
Dan's his own man, but it seems sort of like we were on the same page.
Dan will be in. Dan's not going to turn down Bandon. So
he might not.
Yeah. So JP, we got a 4th. So if you don't want to carry a bag and play, we got a spot if we can get in.
Hey, give everybody your IG handle so they know how to follow you and check out your stuff.
Yeah, so on Instagram it is the Golf Homie, and that's pretty much the only spot that you're gonna find me active is Instagram. So yeah, the Golf Homie, just at the Golf Homie.
Nice. All right, Joe.
All right, yo, thanks for tuning in to the Chasing Daylight this week. We appreciate all the listens, all the live followers, viewers. Shout out the Golf Homie. Thanks for joining us. As we mentioned before, we're going to Georgia next week. We got a lot of golf to play, a lot of golf to cover, and tell your homies, and we'll see you next week.
Later.
Later.